Have you ever felt it, that tiny, almost imperceptible voice in your head whispering, "I'm not enough"? Maybe it's subtle, almost like a shadow lurking in the corners of your mind. Or maybe it hits you like a lightning bolt, leaving you breathless, questioning your worth. If you've ever been in a connection with someone you sense as a twin flame, this feeling might not be foreign to you. In fact, it may have visited you more times than you care to admit. The strange paradoxical thing about twin flames is that they are mirrors. Not just ordinary mirrors that reflect your appearance or your habits, but mirrors that reveal your soul, your insecurities, your deepest wounds, and yes, your feelings of inadequacy. When a twin flame enters your life, they awaken something inside you. Something raw, intense, and often uncomfortable. And sometimes that awakening feels like a painful reminder that you are not enough. Imagine this scene. You scroll through your twin flame's social media, watching them laugh with friends, succeed at their goals, and exude a confidence that seems effortless. You can't help but compare yourself, your achievements, your looks, your way of navigating life. And suddenly the gnawing thought creeps in. Why am I not like them? Why do they seem so whole while I feel broken? It's a haunting sensation, isn't it? One moment you're inspired by their brilliance, and the next you're drowning in self-doubt. You may catch yourself replaying conversations, analyzing their actions, wondering if you are truly enough for them. And sometimes these thoughts spiral into something heavier: jealousy, frustration, or even despair. But here's the twist: the feeling of not enough is not actually about them. It's not about your twin flame's achievements, their charisma, or the way they move through life. It's about the parts of yourself you haven't yet fully embraced, the parts you've judged, ignored, or suppressed. Twin flames act like cosmic triggers. They don't create your insecurities, but they highlight them, showing you exactly where healing is needed. Let's break this down a bit. Why does a twin flame bring up these intense feelings of inadequacy? One reason is mirroring. A twin flame often reflects not only your light but also your shadows. They show you the parts of yourself that you may have been running from. The self-doubt, the fears, the perfectionism, the longing for external validation. And because this reflection is often so clear, it can feel overwhelming. You may look at your twin flame and think, they have it all together. Why can't I? Here's another layer: comparison. Humans are naturally inclined to compare, but in the presence of a twin flame, this tendency is amplified. Twin flames can represent a version of yourself you aspire to be, or perhaps a part of yourself you have denied exists. And when you notice what you lack compared to them, it can trigger a sense of deficiency. You might start to obsess over your flaws, scrutinize your choices, or even question your capacity for love. And then there's jealousy, another common reaction. Perhaps your twin flame's attention is on someone else, or maybe they are achieving things you deeply desire. It's natural to feel a pang of envy, but here's the subtle lesson. Jealousy is not a reflection of their worth, but a reflection of your unhealed desire for validation. It's a signal pointing toward the places where your self-worth is dependent on external recognition rather than internal alignment. Now, here's the part many people overlook. Feeling not enough is actually an invitation to heal. It's a call from the universe, or from your own higher self, saying, pay attention, look inward, reclaim your worth. The discomfort you feel, the self-judgment, the comparisons, and the jealousy are all clues. They are signposts guiding you toward self-discovery and self-love. Imagine if, instead of resisting these feelings, you leaned into them. Imagine sitting quietly with that sense of inadequacy, not to judge yourself but to understand it. Ask yourself, what part of me feels unseen or unworthy? What am I craving to accept within myself? These questions can open doors that no amount of external success or validation can unlock. Let me share a story. There was a woman named Lila who met her twin flame in her mid-20s. At first, their connection felt magical, intense, and magnetic. But soon, she noticed that she was constantly comparing herself to him. He seemed so confident, so creative, so effortlessly charismatic. Lila started doubting her own choices, her talents, her appearance. She even caught herself wondering if she was worthy of his love. For months, Lila felt trapped in a loop of self-criticism. But one day, after yet another spiral of "I'm not enough," she paused. She asked herself a simple question. What if this feeling is not about him at all, but about me? That single shift, Recognizing that the mirror her twin flame held up was reflecting her own unresolved wounds was transformative. Lila began exploring her own passions, journaling about her insecurities, and practicing affirmations that reminded her she was whole as she was. Slowly, the gnawing sense of inadequacy softened. She realized that her twin flame was never meant to make her feel small. He was meant to catalyze her growth. The truth is, feeling not enough in the presence of a twin flame is almost a rite of passage. It is not a curse or a punishment. It is a wake-up call. It is a signal that somewhere within you, there are parts of yourself waiting for acknowledgement, acceptance, and love. And the more you embrace these parts, the more you step into your sovereignty, the more you reclaim your personal power, the more you align with your true essence. So here's the question for you. What if every time you felt not enough around your twin flame, it wasn't a failure, but a call to heal? What if those moments of discomfort were actually sacred invitations, opportunities to reconnect with the parts of you that have been overlooked, judged, or neglected? Take a moment to visualize it. Picture yourself looking in the mirror. But this time, instead of seeing flaws, instead of measuring yourself against someone else, you see wholeness. You see resilience. You see value. You see the parts of yourself that have always been enough, even when life or love tried to convince you otherwise. Feeling not enough is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. It is the whisper that guides you inward, toward self-discovery, self-love, and inner strength. And as you begin to answer this call, you will notice something remarkable. Your twin flame no longer feels like a trigger. They become a companion on your journey, a mirror of your growth, not your deficiency. By the end of this video series, we will explore exactly how to transform these feelings of inadequacy into healing, empowerment, and self-realization. We will discuss practical tools, mindset shifts, and stories that illuminate the path from self-doubt to self-worth. But for now, remember this: the next time you feel not enough, pause, breathe, reflect, and ask yourself, what is this feeling teaching me? What part of me is ready to be healed? Because your twin flame is not here to make you feel small. They are here to remind you that your healing is your ultimate power. And in that healing, you will finally see that you were enough all along. After the first shock of realizing that your twin flame can make you feel not enough, the next layer begins to unfold. The deep, gnawing sensation of self-doubt and insecurity. If you've ever asked yourself, why do I feel so small around them? Or why can't I be enough for this connection? Then you are witnessing the mirror effect of your twin flame at work. Twin flames are not ordinary relationships. They are intense, often overwhelming reflections of your soul. They don't just mirror your strengths, they shine a spotlight on your vulnerabilities. And when these vulnerabilities are illuminated, they often manifest as self-doubt, comparison, and that familiar feeling of I'm not enough. Let's break this down. Why do twin flames trigger these deep insecurities? First, consider the mirror effect. In a twin flame connection, your partner reflects not just who you are, but who you could be. They show you the parts of yourself that have been neglected or denied, the qualities you wish you had, the confidence you crave, the emotional freedom you secretly desire. And when these reflections appear, your mind naturally compares itself to them. Imagine this scenario. You are at a gathering and your twin flame moves through the room with effortless charisma. People are drawn to them, laughing at their jokes, admiring their confidence. You notice it, and almost immediately a voice inside says, "Why am I not like that? Why don't people see me that way?" That is your insecurity speaking, amplified by the presence of someone who holds up a mirror to your unacknowledged potential. Insecurity often shows up as constant self-evaluation. You find yourself scrutinizing your appearance, your behavior, your achievements. You replay past conversations, analyzing every word and gesture. You ask yourself, did I say the right thing? Do I measure up? Am I enough to be loved in this way? These thoughts can feel exhausting, as if your mind is running a never-ending audit of your worthiness. Here's an important point. The insecurity is not a reflection of your twin flame's judgment. In most cases, they are not intentionally making you feel less than. It's your own unresolved wounds, your own unmet needs for validation and love, that are activated. Twin flames act like emotional accelerators. They speed up your growth by highlighting exactly where you need healing. Take the example of Alex, a man who met his twin flame, Sophia, at a meditation retreat. Sophia exuded self-confidence and emotional awareness, qualities Alex secretly longed for but never fully embraced. Initially, Alex felt exhilarated by their connection, but soon he began to notice a pattern. Every time Sophia shared her insights or achievements, he felt a pang of inadequacy. He started doubting his own intelligence, his creative skills, even his ability to communicate. For months, Alex wrestled with these feelings. He compared himself to Sophia constantly, feeling like he was falling short. He asked himself, "Why can't I be as enlightened as she is? Why do I feel so small in her presence?" It was a spiral that seemed impossible to escape. But then Alex had a revelation. During a quiet morning walk, he paused and reflected. These feelings of inadequacy aren't really about her, they are about me. They are the parts of me I haven't accepted yet. That moment of insight shifted everything. He realized that his twin flame wasn't exposing a flaw to punish him. They were showing him exactly where he had neglected his own growth. Self-doubt in a twin flame connection often surfaces as comparison, envy, or people-pleasing tendencies. You may catch yourself trying to match their achievements, imitate their behaviors, or seek their approval in ways you never did with anyone else. The key is to recognize that these reactions are not failures, they are signals. They are invitations to explore the parts of yourself that feel undervalued or unseen. Consider this: why does comparison feel so intense with a twin flame, more than with any other person? The answer lies in soul resonance. Twin flames are mirrors not just of personality traits, but of potential. They remind you of the best version of yourself, the version you may have buried under fear, self-criticism, or societal expectations. When you see them living in alignment with their essence, it highlights the contrast with your unhealed areas. That contrast can feel like rejection, but it's actually a map for your personal growth. Insecurity also manifests emotionally. You might feel anxious, jealous, or emotionally reactive around your twin flame. Perhaps you notice them interacting with others, and your stomach knots with unease. Perhaps you feel a sudden need to prove your worth or gain their attention. These feelings are intense, yes, but they are also profoundly instructive. They reveal the inner child wounds that have been waiting to be acknowledged and nurtured. The key to navigating this self-doubt is self-awareness and reflection. Begin by observing your feelings without judgment. Ask yourself questions like, what part of me feels small right now? What am I afraid of losing? Which beliefs about myself are being challenged? By turning inward, you start to reclaim the power that insecurity has over you. You begin to see that your twin flame is not the source of your self-doubt. They are the catalyst, the signal, the teacher guiding you back to your own worth. Practical exercises can help anchor this awareness. Journaling is a powerful tool. Write down moments when you feel not enough, and explore the emotions beneath them. Meditation can help you observe your thoughts without being consumed by them. Affirmations like, "I am whole as I am," or "I am worthy of love and respect," can gradually rewire the mind's habitual patterns of self-criticism. Let's go deeper with another story. Maya had always struggled with self-esteem issues. When she met her twin flame, Liam, she was initially enchanted by his confidence and emotional depth. But soon she found herself obsessing over whether she measured up. Every time Liam spoke passionately about his work or his goals, Maya felt a twinge of inferiority. She caught herself overthinking every interaction, analyzing whether she had said the right thing, whether she was enough to hold his attention. After months of feeling trapped in this loop, Maya took a brave step. She began to explore her own passions independently of Liam. She painted, wrote, and even joined a local volunteering group, activities that reminded her of her own talents and contributions. Slowly, her feelings of inadequacy lessened. She realized that her self-worth didn't depend on Liam's acknowledgement. It existed within her all along. This journey is not easy, and it often requires patience. The mirror effect of a twin flame can bring up insecurities repeatedly, sometimes in cycles. You might feel confident one day and then doubt yourself the next. But every time you notice these feelings and respond with compassion toward yourself, you are taking a step toward healing. In short, the insecurity that arises in twin flame connections is not a punishment. It is a sacred opportunity. It is a signal from the universe that certain aspects of your self-worth need to be reclaimed. The mirror your twin flame holds up is not showing your deficiencies. They are showing the parts of you that are ready to awaken, grow, and shine. So here's the takeaway. When you feel self-doubt, anxiety, or the pangs of inadequacy in a twin flame connection, pause. Observe. Ask yourself, what is this feeling teaching me about my own value? What part of me is waiting to be seen and loved? In doing so, you transform what initially feels like a wound into a doorway leading to self-discovery, empowerment, and inner peace. Twin flames don't make you feel not enough to punish you. They illuminate your hidden wounds to guide you toward your truest self, where your value is not measured by comparison, approval, or external validation, but by your inherent, unshakable worth. And as you begin to navigate these feelings consciously, you will notice something profound. The insecurity no longer controls you. You begin to stand taller in your own light, even when your twin flame reflects the highest potential within you. You will see that the not enough feeling is not an endpoint. It is the call to heal, to rise, and to claim your full essence. When you first encounter your twin flame, there's an intoxicating sense of connection, like the universe itself has folded in on you. You feel understood in ways you never have before, and the intensity of the bond can be exhilarating. Yet, with that intensity comes a shadow, an undercurrent that many people experience but rarely talk about: the pull of comparison and jealousy. These feelings are not weaknesses, they are reflections. They arise because your twin flame is a mirror, not only of your light, as we discussed in part 2, but also of your longing, your fears, and the parts of yourself that feel incomplete. In their presence, the mind naturally begins to measure, weigh, and compare. Do I measure up to them? Am I as successful, as attractive, as charismatic, as loving as they are? Let's start with comparison, the subtle, often unconscious habit that undermines self-worth. Comparison is insidious because it doesn't always feel negative at first. You may admire your twin flame, notice their talents, or even aspire to emulate certain qualities. But the line between inspiration and self-judgment is thin. Before you know it, admiration becomes a measuring stick, and that measuring stick becomes a verdict. I fall short. I am not enough. Consider Emily, a woman who met her twin flame, Nathan, at a retreat. Nathan was a gifted speaker, effortlessly eloquent and compassionate. Emily admired his ability to engage people with authenticity. But over time, admiration turned into constant comparison. Every time Nathan spoke passionately or achieved something she aspired to, she felt a pang of inadequacy. She began questioning her own voice, doubting whether her thoughts were meaningful, and feeling invisible next to his brilliance. This pattern is familiar in many twin flame connections. Your twin flame can reflect qualities that you have suppressed or undervalued in yourself. In essence, they show you what is possible for your own life, which can be both inspiring and painful. The pain comes when admiration transforms into self-criticism, when the mirror becomes a magnifying glass highlighting your insecurities. Jealousy often follows closely behind comparison. Whereas comparison can feel intellectual, a mental measurement, jealousy hits the emotional core. It's that twisting sensation in your stomach, the sudden rush of fear, anxiety, or even anger when you perceive attention, success, or connection being directed elsewhere. Jealousy in twin flame dynamics is rarely about your twin flame taking away something from you in a literal sense. Rather, it is a reflection of your own unmet emotional needs and fears of abandonment. When you notice jealousy, it's a signal that your self-worth has been intertwined with external validation, that there's a part of you still seeking approval and love from outside rather than recognizing it within. Take the story of Daniel and his twin flame Chloe. Daniel adored Chloe's creativity and her fearless approach to life. But when Chloe celebrated successes and shared moments with friends, Daniel felt waves of jealousy he couldn't ignore. At first, he blamed Chloe, thinking her attention to others diminished his value in her eyes. But through reflection and inner work, he realized that his jealousy was not about Chloe. It was about his own unacknowledged desire to feel valued and complete. The important insight here is that comparison and jealousy are opportunities for growth, not judgments against your character. Twin flames act as catalysts, revealing exactly where your self-love is conditional or incomplete. These feelings are not signs of failure. They are invitations to examine your own relationship with yourself. So how can you navigate these intense emotions constructively? The first step is awareness. Notice when you are comparing yourself to your twin flame. Observe when jealousy arises. Don't judge yourself for these feelings, they are natural, but don't ignore them either. Next, shift perspective. Ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened or insufficient right now? What am I craving from this relationship that I am not giving myself? How can I honor my own worth independently of their presence or attention? Through this lens, jealousy transforms from a destructive emotion into a teacher. It highlights areas where self-acceptance is lacking, where boundaries are blurred, or where validation has been outsourced to someone else. By acknowledging these aspects without self-judgment, you begin to reclaim your emotional power. Practical exercises can help anchor this shift. Journaling is a powerful tool. Write down moments when you feel jealous or inadequate, and explore the underlying fears. Meditation or mindfulness practices allow you to observe the rise and fall of emotions without being swept away. Affirmations like, "I am enough as I am," or "I am complete and whole within myself," gradually reprogram the mind's automatic reactions. Let's return to Emily. Once she recognized her pattern of comparison and jealousy, she began intentionally cultivating her own talents. She started sharing her writing in small communities, engaging in personal projects, and celebrating her achievements without waiting for Nathan's validation. Slowly, she noticed a remarkable shift. Her feelings of inadequacy faded, replaced by confidence and joy. The mirror that once reflected her insecurities now reflected her growth, her worth, and her light. Comparison and jealousy also offer a subtle lesson about boundaries and emotional sovereignty. In twin flame dynamics, it's easy to become enmeshed, to unconsciously measure your value by their attention or achievements. Learning to maintain a sense of self, to honor your own journey, and to celebrate your individuality is crucial. Twin flames are meant to catalyze growth, not to be the measure of your worth. Here's a deeper reflection. What if every pang of jealousy or wave of comparison is actually a map leading back to your own self-love? What if these moments are invitations to reconnect with the parts of you that have been neglected, judged, or ignored? When you answer this call, comparison becomes inspiration, jealousy becomes motivation, and your twin flame becomes a guide rather than a trigger. Consider the emotional paradox. You are simultaneously drawn to your twin flame's light and confronted by your own shadows. That tension is uncomfortable, yes, but it is also sacred. It is the crucible in which self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-worth are forged. The intensity you feel is not a flaw, it is the alchemy of growth. By the end of this journey, you begin to see the deeper truth. Twin flames do not make you feel less than to punish you. They illuminate the parts of yourself that are ready to awaken. Comparison and jealousy are not obstacles. They are lessons. They teach you to reclaim your emotional sovereignty, to nurture your own value, and to find fulfillment within rather than seeking it externally. The ultimate transformation occurs when you can sit with your twin flame, feel the intensity of connection, and remain anchored in your own worth. You no longer measure yourself against them, and you no longer seek their approval as a validation of your existence. Instead, you recognize that your value is inherent, unshakable, and complete. And here's the most empowering part. As you heal these wounds, the nature of your twin flame relationship shifts. The mirror that once reflected your insecurities now reflects your growth. The feelings of jealousy fade, replaced by admiration, love, and respect for them, and most importantly, for yourself. The connection becomes a celebration of two whole, sovereign individuals, rather than a reflection of lack. So, when comparison or jealousy arises, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, what is this emotion teaching me about my own value? Which parts of me are waiting to be healed? How can I honor my journey while honoring theirs? Through this practice, the painful triggers of twin flame dynamics are transformed into profound opportunities for self-discovery, self-love, and personal empowerment. Comparison and jealousy are not your enemies, they are sacred teachers, guiding you back to the truth. You are enough, you are whole, and you are worthy of love, exactly as you are. Jealousy. That fiery, uncomfortable emotion that no one likes to admit, yet almost everyone has felt, especially in the context of a twin flame connection. Unlike ordinary relationships, twin flame dynamics magnify emotions. Where you might have felt a fleeting twinge of envy in a past romance, with a twin flame, jealousy can feel all-encompassing, intense, and even overwhelming. But here's the paradox. Jealousy isn't a flaw or a failure. It is a sacred signal, a mirror reflecting the unresolved wounds and unacknowledged desires within you. To understand this, let's take a step back. Twin flames are mirrors of the soul. They show us not only our potential and our light, but also the places where we feel incomplete, vulnerable, or afraid. When jealousy arises, it is often pointing to one of two things, either a fear of loss or a fear of not being enough. These fears are rarely about the other person, they are about your relationship with yourself. Imagine Sarah, who had been in a twin flame connection with James for 2 years. Their bond was intense, full of deep conversations, shared dreams, and magnetic attraction. But whenever James celebrated successes or shared laughter with others, Sarah felt a pang of jealousy. At first, she tried to suppress it, telling herself, "I shouldn't feel this way, it's irrational." But suppression only made the feeling stronger. This is common in twin flame dynamics. Emotions that are resisted or denied tend to amplify, demanding attention. Jealousy is not meant to be ignored. It is meant to be examined. It is a teacher, guiding you to areas of emotional growth. So, what exactly is jealousy teaching? First, it exposes the areas of your life where you are seeking validation from external sources. Sarah's jealousy was not really about James enjoying his successes. It was about her own need to feel valued and recognized. Her self-worth had been partially outsourced to James' attention, making her vulnerable to emotional turbulence whenever his focus shifted. Recognizing this is the first step in transforming jealousy into a tool for self-discovery. Ask yourself, what part of me feels threatened right now? What am I craving to feel or to know about myself? These questions turn a painful, reactive emotion into a conscious exploration of your inner landscape. Let's explore another layer. Jealousy also highlights comparison and perceived inadequacy, which we discussed in Part 3. You might find yourself silently tallying achievements, social connections, or even physical appearance, measuring yourself against your twin flame. In these moments, jealousy acts as a magnifying glass, enlarging insecurities that were already present but dormant. Consider Michael and Elena. Michael had always admired Elena's social grace and her ability to inspire others. But when Elena's attention was directed toward friends or colleagues, Michael felt a sudden, intense jealousy. He questioned whether he was interesting enough, whether he had earned her love, and whether he would ever feel as worthy in her eyes. These emotional reactions, although uncomfortable, were mirrors of his own self-doubt. They weren't punishments, they were lessons waiting to be learned. Understanding jealousy in this way allows you to shift your perspective. Instead of blaming your twin flame or labeling yourself as too sensitive, you can treat the emotion as a signal, a call to examine your own self-love, your boundaries, and your emotional autonomy. This shift is transformative. It turns what once felt like a vulnerability into a source of empowerment. Practical strategies can help manage and transform jealousy. Mindfulness and emotional awareness are foundational. When a jealous thought arises, pause and observe it without judgment. Notice the physical sensations, the tightening in the chest, the racing of the mind, the fluttering of the stomach. Label the emotion. This is jealousy. By acknowledging it, you prevent the mind from running wild and creating unnecessary drama. Journaling is another powerful tool. Write down instances when jealousy surfaces. Ask yourself, what triggered this emotion? What unmet need or fear does it reveal? How can I address it within myself rather than through my twin flame? Over time, patterns emerge, revealing the underlying beliefs that fuel jealousy. Fear of abandonment, fear of inadequacy, fear of not being enough. Affirmations and self-compassion exercises further support healing. For instance, repeating statements like, "I am complete and whole, independent of anyone else's attention. My worth is inherent, not contingent on external validation. I can celebrate my twin flame without diminishing my own value." These practices gradually rewire the mind, turning jealousy from a reactive emotional trap into a conscious, enlightening experience. Let's return to Sarah. Once she began observing her jealous feelings with curiosity rather than judgment, she discovered something profound. Her jealousy was not about James at all, it was about herself. She realized that she had long neglected her own passions and achievements, allowing her identity to be overly entwined with his. By redirecting her energy toward her own growth, starting small with daily goals, creative projects, and self-reflection, Sarah's jealousy softened. She began to feel secure in herself, independent of James' actions or attention. Here's the subtle but powerful lesson. Jealousy is a doorway to self-sovereignty. When you navigate it consciously, you reclaim control over your emotional life. You stop seeking validation externally and begin cultivating it internally. You learn to celebrate your twin flame's achievements without feeling diminished, and you start to enjoy the relationship from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. There's also a spiritual dimension to this process. Twin flames often catalyze intense emotional growth because they are reflections of your soul's higher potential. Jealousy, as uncomfortable as it feels, is a sign that your connection is activating dormant wounds and calling them to the surface for healing. The deeper the jealousy, the deeper the potential for transformation. It is a mirror of your own capacity for love, trust, and self-acceptance. Let's take another example. Daniel from Part 3 experienced waves of jealousy whenever Chloe interacted with her creative collaborators. Initially, he blamed her, but through introspection and journaling, he realized that the jealousy was highlighting his own fears of not being creative or valuable enough. By embracing his artistic pursuits and celebrating his own growth, Daniel transformed jealousy into admiration. He could now witness Chloe's success with joy, recognizing it as a reflection of what is possible for both of them, rather than a threat to his worth. It's important to note that this process is gradual and cyclical. Emotions will arise repeatedly in a twin flame connection. You may feel jealousy one week and security the next. That's normal. What matters is consistent self-awareness and conscious response. Every time you notice the emotion and choose reflection over reaction, you are reinforcing emotional maturity and self-sovereignty. Finally, consider the empowering truth. Jealousy in a twin flame connection is never about them taking away your love or your value. It's about you recognizing areas within yourself that are ready to be healed and embraced. When approached with awareness, jealousy becomes a teacher, guiding you to deeper self-love, emotional resilience, and authentic connection. So the next time jealousy arises, pause. Ask yourself, what fear is this emotion revealing? What unmet need is calling for my attention? How can I honor myself while honoring the connection? Through these questions, what once felt like a painful trigger transforms into an opportunity for profound growth. You begin to see that your twin flame is not a competitor or a threat. They are a sacred mirror, illuminating the path toward your own self-worth and emotional freedom. By the end of this process, the emotional landscape shifts dramatically. Jealousy softens into understanding, comparison transforms into inspiration, and the bond with your twin flame evolves into a relationship of mutual respect, growth, and celebration, rather than one of fear, need, or insecurity. You learn that the love you seek externally has always resided within, waiting for recognition. And here is the ultimate reminder. Jealousy is not the enemy, it is a guide. It reflects what is unhealed, what is unacknowledged, and what is ready to be transformed. When you face it with courage and compassion, it leads not to conflict, but to liberation. It calls you to step into your full power, your full value, and your truest self, allowing both you and your twin flame to thrive in love, freedom, and mutual growth. By now, you have felt the intensity of a twin flame connection, the reflection of your insecurities, the pull of jealousy, the sting of comparison. If you've been following this journey, you might be asking yourself, where does this lead? What am I meant to learn from these overwhelming emotions? The answer is profound yet simple. Your twin flame is showing you the value of yourself, not through praise, but through reflection, discomfort, and emotional awakening. Let's pause and consider this. How often in life do we truly confront our unhealed areas? How often do we get a mirror so clear, so unrelenting, that we can no longer ignore the parts of ourselves we've hidden or denied? That is what a twin flame connection offers. It is a cosmic invitation to examine your sense of self-worth, to untangle it from external validation, and to reclaim it as an inherent truth. Take Rachel, for example. She met her twin flame Leo during a spiritual workshop. From the beginning, their connection was electric, but Rachel noticed a persistent undercurrent of self-doubt. Leo was successful, charismatic, and deeply empathetic, while Rachel often felt awkward, overlooked, and insecure. Each time Leo spoke passionately, achieved a goal, or shared a joyful moment with others, Rachel's old feelings of inadequacy resurfaced. Initially, Rachel tried to suppress these feelings. She thought, "If I love him enough, these insecurities will go away." But the intensity only grew. This is a common trap in twin flame dynamics, believing that external love or approval will heal internal wounds. Twin flames do not fix you. They highlight the areas within you that are ready for healing. The breakthrough came when Rachel started to see her emotions not as judgments on Leo, but as reflections of her own unacknowledged needs and desires. She asked herself, "Why do I feel less than? What am I longing to acknowledge in myself?" These questions began a profound inward journey. She realized that her self-worth had been tethered to external validation, her appearance, her achievements, even the attention of the people she admired. Here's the first key lesson from the twin flame mirror. Self-worth is internal, not external. When you depend on someone else, no matter how loving, inspiring, or magnetic, to affirm your value, you are setting yourself up for emotional turbulence. Your twin flame's brilliance is not a standard you must reach. It is a reflection of your own potential waiting to be recognized and nurtured. Rachel's journey illustrates another important lesson. Every feeling of inadequacy is an opportunity for self-discovery. Instead of avoiding jealousy, comparison, or self-doubt, she began to explore these emotions deeply. She asked, "What am I truly afraid of losing? Which parts of myself have I neglected? What would it mean to honor myself fully, regardless of external circumstances?" Through this exploration, Rachel discovered a powerful truth. Her value was never in question. She had been treating herself as not enough because she had forgotten to recognize her own unique strengths, passions, and contributions. The twin flame connection didn't create her insecurities, it revealed them, giving her the chance to heal and reclaim her worth. This process of discovery is layered. First, you must observe and name your emotions without judgment. Jealousy, envy, or self-doubt are not indicators of failure. They are signals that a part of you is craving acknowledgement. Second, you explore the roots of these emotions. Are they tied to childhood experiences, societal expectations, or past relational patterns? By tracing these feelings to their source, you illuminate the parts of yourself that have been unhealed. Let's look at a more subtle example. Consider Marco, whose twin flame Isabella was effortlessly charismatic. Marco loved Isabella deeply, yet he noticed recurring moments of insecurity whenever she received praise or admiration. Initially, he felt guilty for being jealous. But through journaling and reflection, he realized that these feelings were a reflection of his own underdeveloped confidence and self-acceptance. Recognizing this, Marco began cultivating his skills, exploring his passions, and acknowledging his accomplishments. The result was transformative. Not only did he feel more whole, but the connection with Isabella became richer, freer, and less fraught with tension. A third lesson emerges. Healing self-worth is an active process, not a passive hope. It requires deliberate action, affirmations, journaling, mindfulness, pursuing passions, setting boundaries, and celebrating your achievements. Twin flames serve as catalysts, but the work is deeply personal. The mirror can illuminate, but only you can step into the light of your own value. Another layer to consider is the importance of self-compassion. It's easy to judge yourself harshly when you notice flaws or shortcomings in comparison to your twin flame. But self-compassion transforms the experience. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," you learn to say, "I am learning, growing, and embracing myself as I am." This simple shift softens the intensity of emotional triggers and allows growth to unfold organically. Now let's integrate another story to illustrate these layers. Lila, a woman deeply connected to her twin flame, found herself feeling envious whenever he shared achievements or social interactions with others. Instead of suppressing the feelings, she began a daily practice. She would write down 3 things she valued about herself, no matter how small. She would meditate for 10 minutes, visualizing herself as complete and whole. Slowly, she noticed a shift. She could observe his successes without feeling diminished, and she started pursuing her own goals with renewed energy. Through this process, Lila recognized a profound truth. The value reflected in your twin flame is also within you. Their light is a guide, a reminder and an invitation. The challenges, the uncomfortable emotions, and even the moments of jealousy are all sacred tools for self-empowerment. This brings us to the fourth lesson. Emotional triggers are not punishments, they are teachers. The intensity of a twin flame connection can feel overwhelming because it stirs deeply buried wounds. But each wave of discomfort carries a lesson about your boundaries, self-respect, and inherent worth. Every pang of jealousy, every shadow of inadequacy, is an opportunity to step closer to your authentic self. Finally, the fifth lesson centers on integration and sovereignty. True self-worth emerges when you can integrate these lessons into your daily life. You begin to feel secure regardless of external circumstances. You can celebrate your twin flame without losing yourself. You honor your emotions without being controlled by them. You recognize that your worth is intrinsic, independent, and eternal. Returning to Rachel, Marco, and Lila, a pattern emerges. Each faced intense emotions triggered by their twin flame. Each initially struggled with self-doubt, comparison, and jealousy. But each ultimately discovered that these experiences were mirrors reflecting the value, strength, and potential within themselves. The key was recognition, reflection, and conscious action. So, how can you apply this in your own life? Begin with awareness. Notice when you feel triggered. Pause. Ask questions. What part of me feels unseen or unworthy? Which emotions are calling for my attention and healing? How can I honor my worth independently of this connection? Then, engage in practices that reinforce your self-value. Journaling, affirmations, meditation, pursuing passions, and celebrating achievements. Over time, these practices shift the emotional landscape. The mirror of the twin flame transforms from a reflection of inadequacy into a reflection of growth, potential, and wholeness. Ultimately, the journey of self-worth in a twin flame connection is a journey inward. It teaches you that the love you seek externally has always resided within. It shows you that the feelings of not enough are not indictments but invitations to heal, to grow, and to step fully into your light. The twin flame relationship, when approached consciously, becomes a profound teacher. It illuminates your unhealed areas, challenges you to embrace your authentic self, and guides you toward self-empowerment, emotional resilience, and deep inner peace. Every comparison, every pang of jealousy, and every moment of self-doubt is a stepping stone toward realizing your inherent value. In conclusion, the ultimate lesson is clear. Your twin flame does not exist to make you feel less than. They exist to mirror your potential, highlight your growth opportunities, and catalyze your journey toward self-love. By embracing this mirror consciously, you not only heal your insecurities but also unlock the ability to experience connection, joy, and love from a place of wholeness. Ask yourself now, what am I ready to recognize in myself? What parts of my worth am I prepared to reclaim? The answers lie within, and with every step of reflection, awareness, and conscious action, you move closer to the truth. You are inherently worthy, deeply valuable, and fully enough exactly as you are. By the time you reach this stage in a twin flame journey, you may have already encountered intense emotions: self-doubt, comparison, jealousy, and the deep reflection of insecurities. These feelings are not mistakes. They are sacred signals that the parts of you needing attention and healing are finally surfacing. The question now becomes, how do I transform these emotions into growth, healing, and a stronger sense of self? This is where practical healing practices come into play. Healing in a twin flame relationship is not about avoiding emotions or trying to control the other person. It is about cultivating self-awareness, self-compassion, and emotional sovereignty, the ability to remain anchored in your own value while fully experiencing the connection. 1. Emotional awareness and mindfulness. The first step in healing is awareness. Emotions like jealousy, insecurity, and self-doubt often feel automatic, but they are signals. Mindfulness allows you to observe them without judgment or reaction. For instance, when feelings of jealousy arise, instead of reacting impulsively, pause and ask, what am I feeling right now? Which part of me is triggered by this situation? Is this fear about losing them or about my own self-worth? Take the story of Ethan. Ethan's twin flame, Ava, had a vibrant social life, and he often felt jealous when she interacted with others. Initially, he reacted by withdrawing or overanalyzing every interaction. But once he started practicing mindfulness, he could pause when jealousy arose, identify the root emotion, fear of inadequacy, and consciously decide how to respond. Instead of lashing out or internalizing shame, he could breathe, acknowledge the feeling, and focus on his own growth. Mindfulness practices can include daily meditation, breathing exercises, or even a 5-minute reflection pause when emotions surge. The key is not to suppress the emotion but to observe it, to treat it as information rather than judgment. 2. Journaling and emotional exploration. Writing is another powerful tool. Journaling allows you to externalize your thoughts, see patterns, and explore the deeper origins of your triggers. A structured approach could be: 1. Write down the triggering event, e.g., my twin flame complimented someone else, and I felt jealous. 2. Note your emotional response, e.g., jealousy, fear, inadequacy. 3. Reflect on the underlying belief or wound, e.g., I feel I am not enough to be loved. 4. Write a compassionate response to yourself, e.g., I am learning to love and value myself independently of anyone else. Take Lila's example. She noticed she constantly compared herself to her twin flame's achievements. Through journaling, she realized that her jealousy stemmed from childhood experiences of feeling overlooked. By writing it down, reflecting, and responding with compassion, she began to reclaim her own value and independence, reducing the intensity of emotional triggers over time. 3. Affirmations and positive self-talk. Reprogramming your mind with affirmations can help counter habitual self-criticism. Affirmations are not empty words. They are intentional statements that reinforce your self-worth. Examples include: I am whole and complete exactly as I am. I am worthy of love and respect from myself first, and from others naturally. I celebrate my twin flame's light without diminishing my own. Consistency is key. Daily repetition, ideally during meditation or reflection, gradually shifts the subconscious patterns that fuel insecurity and comparison. 4. Pursuing personal passions and purpose. One of the most transformative practices is cultivating your own passions. Twin flame relationships often reveal areas where you've neglected your own desires, talents, or goals. Focusing on your purpose not only strengthens self-worth, but also creates a healthy emotional boundary, reducing dependency on your twin flame for validation. Marco, for instance, noticed that he felt insecure whenever his twin flame excelled creatively. Once he committed to his own writing and music, he found that not only did his jealousy diminish, but he also felt empowered and independent. Pursuing your own goals fosters a sense of personal sovereignty, allowing you to love and connect freely without fear of comparison. 5. Shadow work and inner child healing. Many of the intense emotions in twin flame dynamics stem from unhealed wounds in the inner child. Shadow work, a practice of acknowledging, integrating, and healing the parts of yourself you've repressed, can be especially powerful. Techniques for shadow work include guided meditations that explore your childhood experiences, visualizations where you meet and comfort your younger self, dialoguing with your inner child through journaling. For example, when Sarah felt unworthy of her twin flame's love, she traced the feeling back to moments in her childhood where she felt unseen by caregivers. By consciously nurturing her inner child, affirming love, safety, and value, she began to heal deep-rooted insecurities. This healing transformed her reactions, replacing jealousy and self-doubt with compassion and grounded confidence. 6. Setting emotional boundaries. Healing also involves creating emotional boundaries. While twin flame connections are intense and intertwined, maintaining a sense of individuality is crucial. Boundaries are not walls, they are tools for self-preservation and self-respect. Ask yourself, which interactions trigger emotional overwhelm? How can I engage in this relationship while staying rooted in my own value? What practices help me regulate my emotions independently? By establishing these boundaries, you honor both yourself and the connection. You learn to engage fully without losing your sense of self. 7. Celebrating your growth. Finally, take time to recognize and celebrate your progress. Healing in a twin flame relationship is not linear. There will be setbacks, intense emotions, and repeated triggers. Each time you respond with awareness and self-compassion, you strengthen your emotional resilience. Celebrate small victories, moments where jealousy didn't control you, times you expressed your own needs, or instances where you felt secure in your worth. This celebration reinforces the lessons learned and instills confidence in your ability to navigate the relationship consciously. In summary, healing and cultivating self-worth in a twin flame relationship involves 1. Emotional awareness and mindfulness, observing emotions without judgment. 2. Journaling and reflection, exploring triggers and underlying wounds. 3. Affirmations and positive self-talk, reinforcing inherent value. 4. Pursuing personal passions, fostering independence and purpose. 5. Shadow work and inner child healing, addressing deep-rooted insecurities. 6. Setting emotional boundaries, protecting your sovereignty. 7. Celebrating growth, acknowledging progress and reinforcing resilience. Each of these practices transforms intense emotional reactions into tools for self-discovery, empowerment, and authentic connection. The twin flame connection is not about dependency, comparison, or validation. It is about awakening your highest self, reclaiming your emotional power, and embracing the full value of who you are. Remember, the mirror of your twin flame reflects not only challenges but also potential. By engaging consciously with your emotions, cultivating self-worth, and honoring your inner growth, you step into a space of love, freedom, and emotional sovereignty. The connection becomes a celebration, not a source of insecurity, and your relationship with yourself becomes the foundation for all other connections. Ask yourself now, which of these practices am I ready to commit to today? How can I honor my worth while fully embracing the twin flame connection? The answers lie within your willingness to heal, grow, and reclaim your inherent value. The ultimate gift a twin flame connection offers. The journey through a twin flame connection can feel like walking through fire. Emotions surge, mirrors reflect both brilliance and shadows, and it's common to feel not enough in the presence of your twin flame. Yet, the heart of the twin flame experience is not about deficiency. It is about awakening, healing, and learning to love from a place of wholeness. This part of the journey is where transformation happens. It is the shift from reactive longing, comparison, and jealousy to conscious, empowered love, both for yourself and your twin flame. It is the stage where you reclaim your sovereignty, honor your boundaries, and experience connection without losing your sense of self. Understanding the feeling of not enough. When you first feel not enough, it often arises from two sources. 1. Past conditioning and wounds, times when your worth was questioned, overlooked, or invalidated. 2. The twin flame mirror, the reflection of your potential and light, which can highlight your insecurities when unhealed. Imagine Sophia, who met her twin flame, Julian, during a spiritual retreat. Julian's calm confidence and deep empathy captivated her. Yet every time he expressed insight or achieved something meaningful, Sophia felt small, inadequate, and not enough. Her mind compared, doubted, and feared she could never measure up. Here's the key. Sophia's feelings were not a reflection of Julian's shortcomings, nor a judgment of her own value. They were messages from her inner self, calling attention to the parts of her that had been neglected: her creativity, self-expression, and self-love. Understanding this distinction is the first step in transformation. Feeling not enough is not a verdict. It is an invitation to reconnect with your own wholeness. The shift from dependency to sovereignty. Twin flame connections often trigger emotional dependency. You may unconsciously seek their approval, attention, or love to feel complete. This dependency can fuel jealousy, anxiety, and self-doubt. True transformation requires a shift from dependency to sovereignty, the conscious recognition that your value is inherent, independent, and whole. Take the story of Liam and Amelia. Liam often felt insecure when Amelia spent time pursuing her passions. Initially, he internalized feelings of inadequacy and not enoughness. But through reflective practices and personal growth, he began to reclaim his autonomy. He pursued his own interests, set emotional boundaries, and practiced affirmations like, "I am complete and whole within myself." As Liam anchored in his own worth, his connection with Amelia transformed. He no longer measured his value by her attention, and their bond deepened because it was no longer based on need. It was based on mutual respect, admiration, and conscious love. Practical steps to shift into wholehearted love. 1. Daily self-validation. Create a daily ritual to affirm your inherent value. This might include journaling 3 qualities you appreciate about yourself, listing achievements or actions you are proud of, or simply repeating empowering affirmations. Examples: I am enough exactly as I am. I honor my journey and embrace my growth. My love is abundant, both for myself and for my twin flame. 2. Mindful observation of emotional triggers. When feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, or comparison arise, pause and ask, what fear is this emotion revealing? Which part of me needs attention, compassion, or acknowledgement? How can I respond from wholeness rather than reaction? 3. This practice turns triggers into opportunities for growth rather than sources of distress. 4. Nurturing your passions and purpose. Engage consistently with your personal goals and creative expressions. Twin flames magnify both inspiration and inadequacy. When you invest in your passions, you cultivate a strong sense of identity that is independent of the connection. For example, Emma discovered her love for painting after noticing her twin flame excelled in public speaking. Painting became her sanctuary, a space where she felt whole, creative, and self-expressed. Her newfound confidence enriched her connection rather than threatening it. 5. Inner child healing and shadow work. Often, feelings of not enough stem from childhood wounds. Practicing shadow work and nurturing your inner child is transformative. Techniques include guided meditation to meet and comfort your younger self, journaling conversations with your inner child, offering love and reassurance, reflecting on how childhood experiences shape your current emotional patterns. 6. This work allows you to integrate previously suppressed parts of yourself, replacing self-criticism with compassion and empowerment. 7. Gratitude and celebration of the connection. Shift focus from what feels lacking to what is abundant. Practice gratitude for the lessons, love, and growth the twin flame connection brings. Celebrate both your twin flame's light and your own, without comparison or competition. Say, for instance, I am grateful for this connection and the reflection it offers. I honor my twin flame's journey, and I honor mine equally. The role of conscious communication. As you cultivate self-sovereignty, communication with your twin flame transforms. You no longer speak from fear, need, or jealousy. Instead, you communicate authentically, compassionately, and confidently. This might involve expressing your boundaries, sharing your emotions without blame, or discussing aspirations without comparing yourself. Conscious communication reinforces the shift from reactive patterns to collaborative, heart-centered interactions. Consider Daniel and Chloe, who previously struggled with jealousy and comparison. As they each engaged in self-healing practices, their conversations became deeply supportive. Daniel could express his needs without fear of judgment, and Chloe could share her experiences without triggering insecurity. The connection blossomed because both were rooted in self-worth rather than external validation. The spiritual dimension of wholehearted love. In twin flame journeys, the transformation from not enough to self-sovereignty is not only psychological, it is spiritual. The connection acts as a mirror for soul-level growth. By healing insecurities and embracing your wholeness, you align with your highest self and cultivate a love that is both free and profound. Wholehearted love arises naturally when you recognize your own light and value. You celebrate your twin flame's light without judgment. You engage from a place of freedom rather than need. You honor the lessons each challenge presents. This is the essence of twin flame love, a union of two whole beings, not two halves seeking completion. Questions for reflection and integration. To solidify this transformation, reflect daily with questions such as, which areas of my life require deeper self-acknowledgement? How can I honor my twin flame while maintaining my sovereignty? Where do I still seek external validation, and how can I reclaim it internally? What practices bring me closer to feeling whole and complete? Through consistent reflection, practice, and conscious action, you gradually embody a state of internal completeness. A story of transformation. Let's return to Sophia. Initially overwhelmed by feelings of inadequacy in her twin flame connection, she engaged in meditation, journaling, affirmations, and shadow work. She explored her inner child, pursued personal passions, and celebrated her achievements independently. Over time, the pangs of not enough softened into self-awareness and empowerment. When she next interacted with Julian, she noticed a subtle yet profound shift. Instead of measuring herself against him, she experienced joy in his successes, confidence in her own path, and a deep sense of self-worth. The connection no longer triggered insecurity, but became a platform for mutual growth and wholehearted love. Sophia's journey illustrates the ultimate lesson. The feeling of not enough is not a permanent state. It is a call to reclaim your wholeness, honor your journey, and step into empowered love. In conclusion, Part 7 of the Twin Flame Journey focuses on the transition from feeling not enough to embracing wholehearted, self-sovereign love. The key practices include awareness of emotional triggers and mindfulness, inner work and shadow integration, cultivating personal passions and purpose, affirmations, self-compassion and gratitude, conscious communication and boundary setting. Through these practices, the twin flame connection becomes a mirror not of deficiency but of potential, not of need but of empowered love. By embracing self-sovereignty, you step fully into your worth, allowing the relationship and your own heart to flourish with authenticity, joy, and freedom. The ultimate invitation. Am I ready to honor myself fully, love freely, and embrace the wholeness that has always been within me? By the time you reach Part 8 of this journey, you have explored the deep emotional triggers of a twin flame connection, self-doubt, jealousy, comparison, and practiced steps to cultivate self-worth and sovereignty. Yet the true test of transformation comes not in theory, but in real-life application. How do you navigate the twists, turns, and challenges of a twin flame connection without losing your center? How do you act consciously when emotions flare, boundaries are tested, or uncertainty arises? This section explores practical strategies to apply the lessons you've learned, anchored in storytelling, reflection, and step-by-step guidance. 1. Recognizing emotional triggers in the moment. One of the most immediate challenges in a twin flame connection is dealing with emotional triggers as they happen. Unlike other relationships, twin flame dynamics are intense. Small gestures or conversations can ignite feelings of jealousy, inadequacy, or fear of abandonment. Consider Noah, whose twin flame, Eliza, often engaged with colleagues and friends in ways that triggered his insecurities. Initially, he would react impulsively, sending anxious messages, overthinking interactions, or withdrawing emotionally. These reactions escalated tension and reinforced feelings of not enough. The breakthrough came when Noah learned to pause and recognize triggers in real time. The method is simple but transformative. 1. Pause and breathe. Take a few deep breaths before reacting. This interrupts the automatic emotional loop. 2. Name the emotion. Identify exactly what you feel. I feel jealousy, or I feel anxious. Naming gives the emotion structure and reduces its power. 3. Ask reflective questions. Instead of blaming your twin flame, inquire internally. What fear or unmet need is this revealing in me? Am I seeking validation externally rather than acknowledging my own value? 4. Choose a conscious response. Respond from awareness, not reaction. This might mean taking space, expressing yourself calmly, or engaging in self-soothing practices. By applying these steps, Noah shifted from reactive patterns to conscious engagement, preventing small triggers from escalating into relational turmoil. 2. Managing conflict with conscious communication. Conflict is inevitable in any intense connection. In a twin flame journey, conflicts often feel amplified because each person is mirroring the other's unresolved wounds. The key to handling conflict effectively is conscious communication. Take Mia and Gabriel as an example. Gabriel felt hurt when Mia spent late nights working on her projects. Initially, he expressed frustration in accusatory tones, which created defensiveness and escalation. After reflecting on his triggers, Gabriel reframed his communication. He expressed his feelings without blame. "I feel overlooked when we don't spend time together. I'm working on understanding my own reactions and would love to share some moments together." He acknowledged Mia's autonomy. "I understand your projects are important, and I support your goals." He requested connection consciously. "Can we plan some time together that feels nurturing for both of us?" This approach transformed potential conflict into mutual understanding, strengthening both the relationship and personal sovereignty. Practical steps for conscious communication. 1. Use I statements. Focus on your feelings rather than accusing the other. 2. Pause before responding. Avoid reacting in the heat of emotion. 3. Acknowledge their perspective. Recognize your twin flame's autonomy and experiences. 4. Request, don't demand. Express needs without attempting to control. When consistently applied, conscious communication reduces the intensity of conflict, fosters empathy, and cultivates a connection rooted in respect rather than reaction. 3. Navigating separation and space. Many twin flame journeys involve periods of separation, either physical or emotional. These moments can trigger fear, anxiety, and not enough feelings. Yet separation is often a sacred opportunity for reflection and growth. Consider Sophia. She and her twin flame Leo experienced a temporary separation due to career obligations. Initially, Sophia spiraled into anxiety, fearing the connection would be lost. Over time, she applied the lessons of self-sovereignty. Engaging in personal growth, Sophia focused on her creative projects and spiritual practices. Maintaining mindful reflection, she observed her feelings without judgment, acknowledging her fears but not letting them control her actions. Practicing self-love rituals, daily affirmations and self-care became her anchors. As a result, the separation became a period of empowerment rather than despair, allowing both partners to return to the connection with renewed energy, clarity, and appreciation for each other. Guidelines for navigating separation. 1. Anchor in your own life. Engage in work, hobbies, and passions that bring fulfillment. 2. Practice emotional awareness. Observe fear or longing without judgment. 3. Focus on self-healing. Use the time to address personal wounds and strengthen self-worth. 4. Trust the journey. Recognize that distance can catalyze growth and deepen connection. 4. Handling comparison and external influences. In a twin flame connection, it is common to compare yourself to others, whether friends, colleagues, or even your twin flame's past. Comparison fuels feelings of inadequacy and can distort perception. Take Daniel and Chloe. Daniel would sometimes feel inferior when Chloe shared her successes on social media. Initially, he internalized insecurity, but over time he shifted to a perspective of growth and inspiration. He asked, "What can I learn from this moment? How does it inspire me to grow?" He practiced gratitude for Chloe's talents and his own journey. He focused on his unique strengths rather than trying to match external metrics. Practical strategies to handle comparison. 1. Shift focus inward. Celebrate your own achievements and milestones. 2. Practice gratitude. Acknowledge the value your twin flame brings without comparison. 3. Reframe inspiration versus competition. Use external successes as motivation, not judgment. 4. Limit social triggers. Temporarily step back from social media or other comparison-heavy environments. Through conscious application, comparison transforms from a source of stress into a mirror for self-growth. 5. Grounding in sovereignty during emotional surges. Twin flame connections often amplify intense emotions, which can feel overwhelming. The practice of grounding is essential for emotional regulation and conscious decision-making. For instance, Marcus, when confronted with a surge of jealousy, practiced the following. 1. Physical grounding, deep breathing, walking in nature, or focusing on body sensations. 2. Emotional naming, identifying the emotion and its root cause. 3. Reflective questioning. Is this fear about losing them? Is this or about my own self-worth? 4. Sovereign action, choosing a response aligned with inner wholeness rather than reactionary impulse. Grounding transforms intense surges into opportunities for clarity, calm, and empowered interaction. 6. Daily integration practices. To apply the lessons consistently, create a daily integration routine. Morning reflection, set intentions for conscious emotional awareness. Mindful moments. Pause during emotional triggers to observe and respond consciously. Evening journaling, reflect on growth, challenges, and lessons learned. Affirmations and self-love practices. Reinforce your worth and sovereignty. Over time, these daily practices rewire emotional patterns, helping you navigate real-life twin flame challenges with grace and clarity. The ultimate lesson. Applying inner wisdom to external reality. At its core, Part 8 is about translating internal healing into practical action. Awareness, self-worth, and sovereignty are meaningless if they remain theoretical. They must be applied in real-life scenarios, whether navigating jealousy, separation, conflict, or comparison. The twin flame connection is a laboratory for emotional and spiritual growth. Each challenge is a chance to practice self-compassion, strengthen emotional boundaries, communicate consciously, cultivate independence and purpose, anchor in your own worth and sovereignty. By applying these lessons in concrete situations, you move from reactive patterns to empowered love, where the connection becomes a mirror of growth and mutual support, rather than a source of insecurity or turbulence. Reflection questions for application. Which recent situation triggered old insecurities, and how could I respond differently? Am I seeking validation externally or anchoring in my own value? Which daily practices help me integrate self-worth into my twin flame journey? How can I transform challenge into conscious growth in this connection? When consistently applied, these practices ensure that the twin flame journey becomes not a source of suffering, but a pathway to empowered love, authentic connection, and self-sovereignty. By this stage in the twin flame journey, you have done deep work on self-worth, sovereignty, and emotional awareness. You have faced triggers, healed wounds, and learned to navigate jealousy, comparison, and insecurity. You have shifted from reactive patterns to conscious engagement, and you are beginning to experience love from a place of wholeness. The next step is learning how to nurture the twin flame connection in a healthy, fulfilling, and mutually supportive way. This requires integrating all the inner work you've done into the relationship itself, transforming it from a mirror of challenge into a space of empowerment, growth, and authentic connection. 1. Understanding mutual wholeness. The essence of a healthy twin flame relationship is not dependence but mutual wholeness. Both partners show up fully as complete, autonomous individuals who choose to share their lives from a place of love rather than need. Take the example of Isabella and Lucas. Both had gone through periods of intense emotional triggers and self-reflection. Isabella had struggled with self-doubt and jealousy early in the connection, while Lucas wrestled with fear of inadequacy and overdependency. Over time, each worked on personal growth, mindfulness, and inner healing. When they reunited in a conscious, self-sovereign space, their connection transformed. They celebrated each other's successes without comparison, shared openly without fear of judgment, and supported one another's growth without sacrificing individuality. Mutual wholeness created a foundation where love was not conditional or reactive, but empowering and expansive. 2. Daily practices for strengthening the connection. Nurturing a healthy twin flame relationship involves consistent daily practices that reinforce connection, trust, and intimacy while maintaining self-sovereignty. Some effective practices include intentional communication. Communication in a twin flame relationship is a tool for connection, not control. Daily check-ins, honest expressions of feelings, and active listening help maintain clarity and emotional safety. Practical approach. Schedule brief daily conversations about intentions, emotions, or challenges. Use I statements to express needs and emotions. Listen without immediately offering solutions or judgment. B. Shared reflection and growth. A healthy connection allows space for reflection and shared growth. Partners can discuss lessons learned from triggers, patterns, or personal growth exercises. Example: Emma and Noah would spend 10 minutes each evening sharing one insight they gained about themselves or the connection. This practice deepened trust, empathy, and mutual understanding. Z. Rituals of presence and appreciation. Create rituals that celebrate your connection. This could be as simple as sharing morning tea together mindfully, weekly gratitude reflections, or symbolic acts that honor the relationship. Rituals cultivate mindful presence, reinforcing the emotional bond without dependence. D. Support for individual passions. Encourage and celebrate each other's personal pursuits. A relationship rooted in mutual respect for individuality strengthens intimacy and ensures neither partner feels confined or less than. 3. Maintaining emotional sovereignty together. Even in a deeply connected relationship, it is crucial to retain emotional sovereignty. This means maintaining self-worth and balance, even during intense emotional waves. Consider Liam and Sophia, who often experience strong emotional surges due to past insecurities. They developed practical strategies to maintain sovereignty while nurturing connection. Grounding exercises together, breathing exercises, or meditation before discussing sensitive topics. Scheduled space for reflection. When overwhelmed, they took short breaks to self-reflect instead of reacting impulsively. Mutual check-ins on emotional states, asking, "Are we approaching this from clarity or reaction?" By maintaining sovereignty together, the relationship became a safe container for love, honesty, and growth. 4. Managing conflict consciously. Even with emotional maturity, conflicts will arise. The difference lies in how conflicts are approached: consciously, collaboratively, and with compassion. Key principles. 1. Identify the root cause. Often, conflicts are reflections of unhealed areas or miscommunications rather than true opposition. 2. Avoid blame. Focus on expressing your feelings and needs instead of assigning fault. 3. Seek mutual understanding. Ask questions to understand your partner's perspective before responding. 4. Agree on resolution practices. Decide together on ways to resolve tension, such as taking space, journaling reflections, or revisiting the conversation later. For example, Mia and Gabriel once argued over differing social expectations. Using conscious conflict practices, they discovered the argument stemmed from unspoken expectations and fear of abandonment. By addressing the root and communicating openly, they resolved the conflict and strengthened the trust between them. 5. Deepening spiritual and emotional intimacy. Twin flame connections are not purely physical or emotional. They are deeply spiritual unions. Nurturing intimacy requires practices that align mind, body, and soul. Shared meditation or mindfulness practices, synchronizing energy and grounding together, enhances spiritual connection. Energy awareness, recognizing emotional triggers or energetic shifts in each other with compassion. Heart-centered communication, speaking and listening from a place of presence, love, and empathy rather than fear or need. Take the example of Ava and Marcus. They began a weekly practice of meditating together for 15 minutes, focusing on sending love and appreciation to each other. Over time, this ritual deepened trust, compassion, and emotional attunement. 6. Supporting growth without control. A hallmark of a healthy twin flame connection is supporting growth without trying to control the other. Consider Daniel and Chloe. Chloe wanted to start a new business, and Daniel initially felt anxious about the shift in their shared routines. However, he consciously chose to support her dreams without trying to dictate the process. He expressed encouragement, offered practical assistance when requested, and celebrated her milestones. By releasing control, Daniel allowed both partners to flourish independently while deepening the bond. Mutual respect and support are foundations of empowered love, free from dependency or manipulation. 7. Practicing gratitude and celebration. Gratitude reinforces emotional stability and appreciation in a twin flame connection. Recognizing each other's contributions, both tangible and intangible, strengthens trust and emotional resonance. Daily practices can include verbally expressing gratitude for specific qualities or actions, journaling reflections on the relationship's growth and lessons, creating shared rituals of appreciation, such as celebrating milestones or acts of kindness. Gratitude helps shift focus from what's lacking to what is abundant, reinforcing a sense of fulfillment and joy in the connection. 8. Balancing independence and togetherness. A healthy twin flame relationship balances autonomy with union. Partners remain complete individuals while enjoying shared experiences and deep connection. Practical tips: allocate personal time for self-reflection, hobbies, and social activities. Honor each other's boundaries and personal space. Plan meaningful shared experiences without over-reliance on each other for fulfillment. For example, Sophia and Julian structured their week to include individual pursuits alongside dedicated couple time. This balance prevented dependency while fostering shared joy and intimacy. 9. Continuous reflection and integration. The journey of a twin flame connection is ongoing. Even after achieving self-sovereignty and mutual wholeness, it requires continuous reflection and integration. Regularly assess emotional triggers, relationship dynamics, and personal growth. Adjust practices as needed to maintain alignment, sovereignty, and emotional health. Celebrate milestones of growth, understanding, and connection. Reflection questions: are we engaging from a place of fear or empowerment? Are we honoring each other's autonomy and growth? What lessons are present in recent challenges, and how can we integrate them? Through consistent reflection and adaptation, the twin flame connection evolves into a dynamic, conscious, and deeply fulfilling partnership. Conclusion: from self-sovereignty to mutual empowerment. Part 9 of the twin flame journey is about nurturing a relationship that reflects inner growth and self-sovereignty. By integrating all previous lessons, emotional awareness, mindfulness, shadow work, self-worth, conscious communication, and boundary setting, you create a connection that is empowering. Each partner uplifts and inspires the other. Authentic communication and presence are honest and grounded. Supportive growth is celebrated without control or dependence. Joyful connection becomes a source of fulfillment rather than fear. The ultimate goal is to experience a twin flame relationship that is mutually enriching, conscious, and free from patterns of inadequacy or dependency. When both partners operate from wholeness, love is no longer a reflection of enoughness. It is a celebration of shared growth, authenticity, and soulful connection. Ask yourself now, how can I nurture my twin flame connection today from a place of wholeness, respect, and love? How can I embody empowerment and mutual growth in every interaction? By answering these questions and integrating practices consistently, the twin flame journey transforms from a turbulent mirror of insecurities into a sacred partnership of conscious, wholehearted love. Every twin flame journey is, at its heart, a journey of awakening. From the first sparks of recognition, through the intense mirroring of insecurities, through heartbreak, longing, jealousy, and the deep reflections of self-worth, the path challenges you, mirrors your deepest wounds, and ultimately guides you toward your own wholeness. Part 10 is about synthesizing all the lessons learned, celebrating the growth you've achieved, and stepping into the next phase of conscious, empowered love, both for yourself and within the twin flame connection. This is the culmination of the journey, where self-sovereignty, emotional mastery, and mutual wholeness converge into a space of freedom, joy, and lasting fulfillment. 1. Reflecting on the journey, from not enough to empowered love. The journey often begins with a painful mirror. You might have felt inadequate compared to your twin flame, jealous of their achievements, relationships, or attention, overwhelmed by fear of loss or abandonment. Take the story of Amelia. In the early stages of her connection, She compared herself constantly to her twin flame's energy and accomplishments. Every text she sent, every meeting they had, became an opportunity for her insecurities to arise. Yet, as Amelia reflected, journaled, practiced mindfulness, and healed her inner child, she began to recognize the deeper message. These feelings were not evidence of deficiency. They were a call to reclaim her own value. By working through the mirror of the twin flame connection, Amelia transformed her pain into self-awareness, self-love, and empowerment. The connection shifted from a source of insecurity to a space for mutual growth, clarity, and soulful alignment. This reflection is key. The twin flame is not the cause of your unworthiness. They are a catalyst illuminating areas that need healing, offering lessons that deepen your relationship with yourself, and opening the door to authentic, unconditional love. 2. Celebrating your own worth. By now, you have likely integrated practices such as emotional awareness and mindfulness, journaling and inner reflection, affirmations and self-compassion, pursuing personal passions and purpose, shadow work and inner child healing, conscious communication and boundary setting. The ultimate outcome of these practices is an unshakable recognition of your own worth. This does not mean perfection. It means embracing your unique strengths, limitations, desires, and light. Ask yourself, do I feel complete even in the absence of external validation? Can I celebrate my twin flame successes without diminishing my own? Do I honor my needs and desires while honoring theirs? This is the awakening. Your value is inherent, and your love is a choice, not a necessity born from fear. 3. Transcending comparison and jealousy. Comparison and jealousy are natural triggers, but when approached consciously, they become tools for self-growth rather than sources of suffering. Consider Liam and Sophia. During the early stages of their connection, Liam constantly compared himself to Sophia's achievements, creating tension and self-doubt. Over time he practiced reframing perspective, viewing her accomplishments as inspiration rather than competition, self-celebration, acknowledging his own strengths, milestones, and contributions, mutual support, sharing in joy and success without judgment or envy. Eventually, what once triggered insecurity became a reflection of possibility, encouragement, and aligned growth. The lesson: comparison dissolves when love is rooted in self-sovereignty and mutual respect. 4. Embracing love without attachment. A critical awakening in the twin flame journey is learning to love freely, without attachment. This is not indifference, it is conscious love that recognizes your twin flame's autonomy, honors your own independence and worth, engages without fear, control, or dependency. For example, Marcus practiced conscious detachment by observing his emotions without needing to act impulsively, trusting the connection while allowing both partners space to grow, loving through presence, support, and appreciation rather than demand. This form of love is liberating. You no longer cling, fear, or feel less than. Instead, you love as a whole person, fully aware of your value and free to give and receive love without condition. 5. Integrating practices into daily life. To sustain this awakening, integration is key. These are practical daily strategies. 1. Morning alignment. Begin each day with affirmations or meditation focusing on self-worth and clarity in the connection. 2. Mindful engagement. Observe emotional triggers, breathe, and respond consciously rather than reactively. 3. Gratitude rituals. Celebrate both your growth and your twin flame's presence in your life. 4. Personal pursuits. Engage consistently with your passions, goals, and spiritual practices. 5. Evening reflection. Review the day, acknowledge growth, and set intentions for alignment and conscious love. Daily integration ensures that empowered love becomes a lived experience, not just a conceptual understanding. 6. Recognizing the sacred mirror. Throughout the twin flame journey, the other person acts as a mirror of your deepest truths, your light, potential, and unique gifts. your unhealed wounds, fears, and limiting beliefs. Ask yourself, what is this reflection teaching me about my value? How does this challenge invite me to embrace love more fully? The mirror is not a judgment. It is a sacred invitation to awaken to your highest self. By consciously engaging with it, you transform challenges into opportunities for self-mastery, compassion, and authentic connection. 7. The power of mutual growth. When both twin flames reach this stage of self-awareness and sovereignty, the relationship transforms into a space of co-creation, mutual respect, and soulful alignment. Key characteristics of a mature twin flame connection. Aligned intentions. Both partners share vision and values without controlling each other. Emotional attunement. Awareness of each other's needs, boundaries, and triggers. Supportive independence. Encouraging growth without attachment. Deep appreciation. Love rooted in respect, gratitude, and presence. Through this alignment, the connection becomes a sacred partnership, not defined by need or lack, but by shared wholeness and conscious choice. 8. Stepping forward with empowered love. The culmination of the twin flame journey is not about achieving perfection. It is about embracing wholeness, sovereignty, and conscious love. Practical steps to continue moving forward. Anchor daily in self-worth. Never rely solely on the connection for validation. Communicate with clarity and compassion. Express feelings, needs, and appreciation consciously. Celebrate growth and milestones. Acknowledge both personal and relational achievements. Maintain balance. Honor independence, purpose, and boundaries while sharing intimacy. Engage with presence. Fully show up in moments, appreciating both your own and your twin flame's light. The journey continues not as a cycle of fear and longing, but as a conscious, fulfilling experience of love, growth, and mutual awakening. 9. Reflection questions for the ultimate awakening. To internalize and embody the final lessons, reflect on these questions. Am I living in my wholeness, independent of external validation? Do I love freely without attachment, fear, or control? How do I celebrate both my growth and my twin flames journey? What practices ensure our connection remains empowering, conscious, and joyful? How can I continue to transform challenges into growth and alignment? These questions guide the final integration of the twin flame journey, ensuring that love is sustainable, conscious, and deeply fulfilling. 10. A final story of transformation. Let's revisit Sophia and Julian. Throughout their journey, they faced jealousy, insecurity, emotional surges, and separation. Yet, through mindfulness, self-sovereignty, shadow work, conscious communication, and mutual respect, they arrived at a space where Sophia no longer felt not enough, honoring her worth and talents independently. Julian embraced his emotional clarity and supported Sophia without fear or control. Their connection became a shared sanctuary of growth, trust, and joyful presence. Challenges became lessons. Triggers became mirrors of growth. Love was freely given and fully received, without conditions or dependency. Their story illustrates the ultimate truth of the twin flame journey. It is not about finding completion in another, but about awakening to the completeness within yourself and co-creating love from that empowered space. 11. The twin flame journey is a path of awakening, healing, and empowerment. From the first spark to the culmination of mutual sovereignty, it teaches, your worth is inherent. No external validation can define it. Love is a choice, not a necessity born from fear. Triggers are mirrors, guiding you towards self-awareness and growth. Conscious communication, boundaries, and independence are essential for sustainable love. Mutual growth and celebration of each other's light create a relationship of true partnership. The ultimate awakening is realizing that love, joy, and fulfillment do not come from needing someone else. They come from honoring your own wholeness and choosing love freely. Description: are you struggling with feelings of inadequacy in your twin flame journey? This video explores how the twin flame connection often reflects our deepest insecurities, helping us identify triggers like self-doubt, jealousy, and comparison. Through guided reflection, emotional awareness, and practical strategies, you'll learn how to transform these challenges into opportunities for self-growth and conscious love. Discover how the twin flame journey calls you to reclaim your self-worth and embrace your inner power. By applying these lessons, your connection can shift from a mirror of pain to a space of mutual respect, joy, and fulfillment. Join us as we dive deep into the twin flame awakening process, showing you how to navigate real-life challenges, cultivate emotional sovereignty, and nurture a conscious, thriving relationship. This is your call to embrace love freely, honor your value, and create a connection that empowers both you and your twin flame. Subscribe now and start your twin flame journey with conscious awareness today. Hashtags: Twin Flame Journey, Self-Love, Conscious Love, Spiritual Awakening, Relationship Healing, Soul Connection, Empowered Love, Inner Growth, Awakening Journey.